are going to tackle a grammar lesson titled Conditional Type 0. It is devoted to first year baccalaureate ticket 1. Let's get started. Have a look please at this picture and tell me, what do you see? Yes, we see a teacher, also a classroom. What is special about this classroom? I will let you answer these questions. The first one, where is the teacher? What school subject is she explaining? And what is she doing? Time of thinking is over. Let's now correct. So the first question, where is the teacher? The teacher, yes, is in, as you can see, a laboratory. Great. Question number 2. What school subject do you think the teacher is explaining? From the picture, mostly, yes, it's maybe chemistry, physics, or also natural sciences. Nice. The last question. What is she doing? And this is the most important question. As you know, you are a scientific student. You are familiar with these things. So the teacher is doing, yes, an experiment. Great. So, let me ask you the question. What is an experiment? Yes, an experiment is a scientific procedure done to discover, we are going to discover something that we don't know, or test, maybe demonstrate a known fact. As we can say in Arabic, التجربة. Great. Can you give me some examples of experiments that we have in our daily life? Nice. Let me show you one from my daily life. Here is an example of a scientific fact or an experiment. Have a look at the picture. What do we have? A pan. The pan is on fire, and in a pan we have water. Yes. In your opinion, if you heat water to 100 Celsius, what happens in your opinion? It boils. Great. So this is an example of an experiment or a scientific fact. Let's move now to another element. Look at the first picture. What is this? Water. Great. Water is a liquid. If we put water here, which is the freezer, the top part of the fridge, what happens? We have ice. Ice is the opposite of water. Do you agree with me? Of course yes. Liquid, solid are opposites. Now, if we change this, we put ice on fire. What happens? Ice melts. Ice melts. We will have a melted ice. Let's discover this in this next task. Now you have to read a mini dialogue and answer some questions. We have a short dialogue between a teacher and students of course, and some questions that you have to answer. I will read the dialogue for you. Teacher, if you leave some water in the freezer of your fridge, what can you see after some time? The class, it becomes ice, solid. Teacher, so if you leave water in the freezer, it turns into ice. What happens to ice if we heat it? if we heat ice, it turns into water. First question that we have to answer after reading carefully is, what is the experiment presented in the diagram? Number 2, is it always true when you freeze water, it becomes solid? And the last question, is it always true when we heat ice, it turns into water? You have 2 minutes. Let's move to the correction. First question from the dialogue, what is the experiment presented in this dialogue? Yes, the experiment is, if we put water in the freezer, as you have seen before in the pictures, it becomes ice. Great. Next one. In your opinion, and from the dialogue, is it always true when you freeze water, it becomes solid? Of course, yes, true. If we freeze water, it becomes ice or solid. Finally, what about being true or not? When we heat ice, it turns into water. Also, yes, that's also true. If we heat the ice, of course, it turns into water. We move now to the correction. Here is the dialogue and here is the chart. Part 1, if you leave water in the freezer, so what is the part 2? From the dialogue, we have it becomes ice or it turns into ice. Great, I gave you the part 2, it turns into water. What is the first part? Is if we heat ice. Great, so part 1 we call it if clause and part 2 main clause. In your opinion, why do we call the part 1 if clause? Because, first, we have in both sentences if. Part 2, main clause. What does it mean? It means it's an independent sentence. Now, we can say that these type of facts are always real or scientific facts. They are true. Like the example from mathematics, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Can we say that 1 plus 1 equals 3? No, it's false. So, these facts have only one possible result. Let's move now to the task number 2. Another time, from the mini dialogue, you have to complete the missing parts of each sentence. So, you have a chart with part 1 and part 2. The first statement, I gave you the first part, and you need to find the second one. In the second example or statement, I gave you part 2, and you have to find part 1. You have 2 minutes and be correct. This is conditional type 0. It consists of 2 parts. If clause, I have a condition. Main clause is an evident result of the condition. Example, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now, let me ask you, why do we use this conditional? We use it to talk about real, true situations, such as scientific facts that we have seen before. Now, I'm going to sum up. Conditional 0 consists of 2 parts, if clause and the main clause. But you can also start with the main clause followed by the if clause. The most important thing that you have to remember is the tense of the verbs in both clauses must be in the simple present. Now, let's have a look at some examples. From the pictures, if you heat glass, it breaks. Or we can say, the glass breaks if you heat it. Another example, if you flip the switch, the light switches on. Or we start with the main clause, the light switches on if you flip the switch. Before let's practice. It's your turn. My task 1, you have to match each element from column A with its corresponding part in column B. Let me read for you the first column. 1. People get fat or obese. 2. If a person practices some sports. 3. You don't get fat. 4. If you don't sleep at night. And 5. Plants die. We move to column B. A. He or she always feels good. B. If it doesn't rain. C. If they eat junk food or fast food. D. You get tired all day. And E. If you eat healthy food. I give you 2 minutes. Then we move to the correction. Let's correct. Number 1. If I. What do you think is the correct answer? Yes. If I go on a boat, I always feel sick. Number 2. The teacher gets angry if. What is the possible answer? The right answer? Good. If we don't work hard. It is easier to sleep if you are not stressed. Number 4. His mother gets annoyed if he is late. Great. If I don't know a word, sure, I look it up in my dictionary. Finally, students, they revise their lessons if they have a test. Now, the last task you have to do is to talk about your personal experience. I want you to complete these statements and say what do you want to express. 1. If I wake up late, for you, what happens? What is the result? Number 2. If I feel sad, here we talk about feelings. If you feel sad, what do you do? What may be the result? 3. If I, something, a condition, I stay at home. 4. Another condition, the result is you get fat. Finally, what makes you nervous and you can't keep calm. In today's lesson, we have been talking about conditional type 0, form and use. The form is if plus simple present plus simple present. Conditional type 0 can be used in general truths and scientific facts. Thank you for your attention.